Wait, just these tools that are hanging here on the wall. No electric tools were used by making this house. It's done exactly like the Vikings did. It took a long time and costed a lot of money. Done for 10 years ago, and then we had some money actually, so it was quite okay. Now we don't have any.
You feel okay?
I feel very well. I don't care actually. And of course this is all done here in the memory of Erik the Red One and his son Leif Eriksson. Erik came here as a young man. He got married to a girl from this area, and her name was Thorhildur, and they started their life together here. And here they lived for around 15 years. And during that time Erik had all his children here. He had 4 children. But his wife only had 2. That's just how it was. It was very dark here in the winter time and very easy to make mistakes. It's typical for the Viking Age here. And it still is today. But all the time that Erik lived here, he was in constant quarrels and battles with his neighbors here in the valley. And in the end he did kill 2 of his neighbors. And that is the reason why he left the valley here. He was afraid of his life. He knew that he would be killed if he would stay here. So he took his family and moved to the island here outside of Breiðafjörður, big island called Öxney. And there he could live for 2 years. And of course he got in the same trouble there as here. He did kill 2 more people there. And after that he was sentenced to exile. He had to leave Iceland for 3 years or be killed otherwise. And after that he simply didn't know where to go. He was not very welcome in Norway. His father actually had a little accident there. He did kill 3 people there. And was exiled from Norway. And that's the reason why Erik's family came here to Iceland in the beginning. So Erik could not go back there. And he could not stay here in Iceland. So he did something that nobody had done before. He took his ship in the year of 983 and sailed west. And he was away for 3 years. He came back here in the year of 986 and told everybody what a fantastic place he had found. It was just so beautiful, so easy to live there, a lot of food. That was probably all true. Still today it's a very beautiful land and a lot of food there. He maybe went a little bit over the limit though when he named the land Greenland. It's famous for everything else today at least. And he did that just because he thought it would be easier to get people to move with him to a land that had a beautiful name. This is the first commercial trick in the Viking history. And a very successful one. He got a lot of people to move with him. There were 24 ships that followed him to Greenland that same year. So Erik went from being an outlaw here in Iceland, and suddenly he was a chief over a whole country. And after that he was a very peaceful and popular man. He was just a boss there, nobody dared to say anything against him probably. A few years later, around the year of 996 or 7 probably, there was a ship sailing from Iceland, a man called Bjarni Herjólfsson. He was a businessman. He was on his way to Erik's farm in Greenland called Brattahlíð. He was carrying merchandise for Erik, mainly wood. But he caught a very bad weather during the sail and he drifted south for many, many days, or until he saw land in south. But he didn't stop there. The poor man who would have changed the world's history would just stop there a little bit, but he didn't. He just sailed off to Greenland again and told his story. And Leif Eriksson was just fascinated about it. There was a land so close by in south that nobody had discovered before. And he decided to go there, which he did in the springtime of the year 1000. He took 25 people with him and they sailed west from Greenland and came to the coastline of what now is Labrador in Canada. And he didn't like it there. He thought it was cold and windy. He think it's fantastic, actually. A man that is born and raised in Iceland and has been living the last years of his life in Greenland, came to Canada and thought it was cold and windy there. But at least he didn't stop there. He sailed south to the coastline of that land until he came to a place that is called today Lanzo Meadows, and is in Newfoundland. There he did stop, and he did build 2 houses there, and stayed there for 1 year, and he used this time to sail up and down the coastline of his new land. He went probably all the way down to where New York is today, for example. But after this 1 year, he returned to Greenland again, and told this story. He did settle down in Greenland after that, and never went back to America again. He died of old age in Greenland, like his father. They were both very rich and very powerful men. But the Vikings kept on going to America for at least 30 to 40 years after that. And they went there mainly because of this wood, the wood. They went there, they repaired their ships there, they filled them up with wood, and they sailed back home to Greenland and Iceland. They didn't settle down. We know a few families that tried to settle down in America. They all gave up. And the reason why the Vikings didn't settle down in America is, of course, that there were some people living there before them. People that is called in the Icelandic sagas as Skrælingjar. And around, 500 years later, 491 years later, there was a man from Italy that came to America and was working for the Queen of Spain. And he called them as Indians, because he thought he was in India.